We've got an intake NOx sensor to replace. There it is, there's the new one. Leave this on until you get everything on. You don't want crap getting in there. What we do to start off is these are 13 millimeters. I got that one off. There is also one here on the side right here. That one is loose, and most of the time, although not all of the time, you'll have one right here. Sometimes somebody's been in here before and they don't ever put that one back. So we've got those, and then right here, I take a screwdriver and undo that, and then you can pry this down. But basically you got to take this filter off first, kind of wiggle it, and that'll pop off. That can be a little tricky to get off. I just pull on it while I turn and it pops off, and then just set it over to the side. And then behind that, you got this bracket that normally has 4 of these, and these are also 13 millimeter. Go ahead and get those all off and then set the bracket aside. At this point, go ahead and feel for the NOx sensor. It is up in here. It is that part right here, and it goes down under there. Every time I do this, I try to do it with this still on, and I always fail, so I end up taking it off. So what you do is you get a screwdriver right there, loosen that up, and then you can push right here and pop that sensor off and just push that to the side. I always put that somewhere that I'll see it, and then so when I'm putting everything back together, I won't forget to put that. Normally I would just take that off and leave it like this, but I'm going to take off this back one. So this part, this extension right here, this rubber bit can come off, so then you can actually see what I'm doing. There it is off. And so what we're trying to get to is right here, and I'll show that here in a bit once we get to that point. So there are 2 mounts right here and on the bottom, and those can be a bit fiddly because when you take them off, there are some rubber pieces that will fall down, so you need to pay attention to keep those in place. At least this rubber bit right here, and then the washer there, and the nut there. Those can come off. The back can stay on, but you might want to put a piece of duct tape, if you're not used to doing this, around the back. That way the bolt doesn't fall out and these pieces fall on the ground. You want to make sure to get this back on when you're done to get it exactly how it is now. For now, we're going to leave this as it is. We're going to come up here, and behind this shield, this is kind of a bendy thing, so I'll try not to break it. It protects that part of the sensor and these wires in that loom sheath thing from the heat on the hot side of the turbo, so you definitely don't want to break that. But on the back end, there are 2 8 millimeter bolts that go straight down in. Sorry, it's not focusing very well. One is right about here, and the other is, I can't really see. The other is on the other side, but they're on the other side of this, so it's a bit of a reach to get in there. You gotta kind of wiggle in there. And this is where you do not want to do this if it's hot. You will severely burn yourself. Do this after the truck's been off for a few hours or just sitting overnight. But yeah, behind here, there are 2 8 millimeter bolts. Go ahead and get those out, and this shield will come off. That is what it looks like when it's off. And here are those bolts that I was talking about, the 8 millimeters. They go right in there. Anyway, you don't need to see that further. And so now what we do is, if you haven't done this before, you want to get one of these tools. There's a couple different styles. There's one that slides over, and this is for the NOx sensor. And then the wire, the braiding will come out here. And for slimmer areas, there is this one. This, in my opinion, is a little bit easier to use. This one, not so much. You got to get it really right angle on there. But what you do is you fit it over the new one just to make sure that it is the right size. This one fits. You don't want any play in it whatsoever. If it's really hard to get off, the old one is, and it's stuck, you're going to start stripping this, and then you're going to have a whole other world of problems. And this is what that long one looks like. And they are 7/8 or 22 millimeters. That is the size for this NOx sensor. This is the most finicky part of the whole thing. You got to rotate it counterclockwise if you were to be looking down. So basically that way from this side. And I lost my adapter for this tall boy here, so I'm going about it the other way with the small one. But yeah, it can slip and you can smack your fingers, or you can round it out. So just be very careful, go slow. And once you feel a crack, then you should be able to go at it. It may be difficult to get it about the first halfway up. After that, it should be fine. A lot of times these will be seized. Fortunately, this one wasn't. You put some PB blast or some sort of penetrant in there, let it sit for a while and come back to it. Yeah, just be careful not to strip it. So we got it off, and there you can see it's a little twisted around. So it was pretty much a straight shot up and through the back. Everything was just smooth, but as you take it off, it'll twist around. As you can see, there we have it. It goes all the way down to there and goes in the top here. So we're gonna have to get that off, and after that I will unclip this part. but these are 8mm as well. It's not wanting to focus very well. So on the front, I get a ratchet, and on the back, what I do is I put a box wrench there, and it's 8mm on both sides. And don't lose any of those grommets or washers in there, because you need all of that to put this back. Well, to put the new one back. So it should look a little something like this while you're going at it. Just hold that box wrench on the bottom, which is going to the top. So yeah, hold it on the bottom, and then get that off, and just be careful not to drop anything. And then do the same for the bottom one there. One thing I will do is sorry, I wish this would focus. So something I like to do is once I get that nut off, I'll take these off piece by piece, and then I just set them up here. So that way they won't fall anywhere. I mean, they can roll around, but they're not going to fall on the ground as long as you don't bump them off. Yeah, and then get the bolt in the back and get all of them together, top and bottom, and just set them up here so you don't lose any pieces. Once you get that off, and then set these up here so again you don't lose them, this is the last step before you start reversing the process. So you want to shove a screwdriver under here and do it evenly in the center, and then push up. And this is a pretty smart thing. There's this tiny rails in there that as you pull up, this pushes out. So when you put the new one in, you can slide that in and push this down with your finger, and it'll lock together. Once you get that to the point where you can take it off, it's a good time to check for any corrosion that might happen in there. Just go ahead and look. And look for any junk or anything that's green. This one looks fine. The issue is with this itself, or possibly what I found on here. It might be in here, it was rubbing through a little bit. It was getting erratic data. Sometimes they'll get gummed up. That's not too often. I mean, it does happen, but I think more often than not I see erratic data. So that spot on here where it's eating through, that's very likely the culprit. It's probably eating through the wires. If there's a core charge on this, you want to be sure to get it back in the box all nice and tight, and get that back to the manufacturer or the dealer, and they'll give you a core charge back on that. They may not, if the wire is cut or eaten through a little bit like that, they might not do that. But if it's completely cut, if you had to cut this to get this off, they won't give you a core charge whatsoever. Well, they'll charge you for the core, but you won't get your money back for returning the core. Now we go ahead and reverse the entire process. One tip is if you get a NOx sensor and it doesn't fit, it's either the wrong one. This is what I was talking about earlier. When you push it in and push down, it will pull towards and seat. There we go. There we go. It's pretty easy stuff. So then we go ahead and get that back on, and make sure to route this the same exact way as it was before. Over, and you want it around. You don't want it to touch the turbo at all. You want it to come back up and over here. And if there was anything that it was zip tied to, go ahead and zip tie that back to it. If not, then you can use right here to make sure that it doesn't touch the turbo at all. Once that is all nice and secure, we will snake this up and through, and again make sure to follow the same path as you took it off. And there is this goopy stuff, you want to go ahead and leave that on there. As a side note, the reason these have those little grommet looking things, those are dampers. So what that does is if you hit a really hard bump, then it's less likely to damage this. I mean, these trucks go through a lot, but a little bit of a damper can go a long way just to absorb a little bit of the vibration while it's going down the road, or huge bumps. Get that down in there as tight as you can with your hands, and then you want to get that NOx sensor tool and go ahead and go clockwise with it that way until it stops moving, basically, and don't overdo it. I don't know the torque specs on that, but you can find it online, or just talk to the vendor or manufacturer of Cummins or Freightliner. I don't know, but I don't know what it is. I just go until it's tight. So after that, you go ahead and put the heat shield back on. I thought I had some small zip ties, but I did not, and I didn't want this smacking into anything, so I zip tied it down there, which you can't see, but right here you can see through there. What I do on things that I don't want to rub is I'll put a first zip tie around, and I won't tighten that all the way. Then I will put a second zip tie in between that and around whatever I'm trying to get to. In this case, it's that part of the harness here. Sorry, it's not focusing very well, but you can kind of see it right there. So this initial zip tie goes around the metal, a little bit of an opening, then I put the second zip tie around there, so that way this will not rub up against the metal at all, and it's held tight. And up there, it's not actually touching anything. It's going, and it won't rub against anything whatsoever. Then I'll cut these off. Well, not the whole thing, just the excess bit. Now we are in the home stretch. Go ahead and get this back on, and after that, you push this piece back into that. Once you get those both on, get this one mostly tight. You want to have a little bit of wiggle room, and that is so once you get everything together, you can go back and tighten that up. If you tighten it real tight right now, then it's a good chance that everything won't line back up and you'll have to loosen it anyway. And get the band back on. If you did take it off, take note that there is a notch right here, and that goes on there, so you want to make sure it's facing the right direction. Then get that backing bracket fully on. Make sure to replace every one of the bolts that you took off, and those again are 13 millimeters. Then go ahead and get the filter on. What I do, I just have this down here and I push as hard as I can. I tend to get the back in first, and then I can work the front with a pick if I need to. This time I didn't need to. And the reason that we left that part in the back loose a little bit is so we can then bring this up once this is tight. You only want to get the band hand tight because this is plastic behind it and you don't want to snap that. Then come up here and you get that one, and normally that one, but that one was missing, and then the one on the other side on. I've gotten the bolt on either side of this completely tight. There's the other one. And then I will come down here, see my screwdriver there, and then I will tighten that one. And a trick with those, if you really can't get your screwdriver in at any point, I should have mentioned this earlier, but they're also 8 millimeters, the ones that you need to take off, at least on this truck. So those two there, and then this one here, those are all 8 millimeters. I did not forget about this one. I tend to do that last, put that back in. I've had it on before, and then I had some other issues. I had to take stuff back off and then forgot to, and kind of yanked this and had to fix it. So because of that, I just put this back last, but go ahead and do that.